we're not going to balance the budget just by pretending that all they have to do is take out the waste. We're going to have to cut spending. And I'm in favor of cutting spending, capping federal spending as a percentage of GDP at 20% or less, and having a balanced budget amendment.
We can return power to the people and to the states we live in, so we'll all have more freedom, opportunity, and control of our lives. Yes, working together, we can and will rebuild the America we love.
What's up with these sorry politicians? Lots of bark. When it's showtime, whimpering like little shih tzus. You want big cuts. Ron Paul's been screaming it for years. Budget crisis? No problem. Cut $1 trillion year one. That's trillion with a T.
3 different ads out today from 3 different campaigns, Romney, Gingrich, and Paul. This comes after a big weekend in politics and a big announcement from Herman Cain.
I am suspending my presidential campaign because of the continued distraction, the continued hurt caused on me and my family.
Herman Cain has said he will endorse. A lot of speculation. One person will probably get this endorsement. Here's how he answered a question about who he would want to be his VP from the people on the stage back in Florida.
If Governor Romney would throw out his jobs growth plan and replace it with 999, he has a shot. If he does not, I would probably go with Speaker Gingrich, who I have the greatest admiration for, in all seriousness, because of his history and because of his depth of knowledge.
Maybe that's telling, maybe it's not. Let's bring in our panel. David Drucker, reporter for Roll Call. Liz Marlantes, political reporter for the Christian Science Monitor and syndicated columnist. Charles Krauthammer. Okay, David, let's start with the Cain situation, the endorsement, what happens, the significance and where it goes.
Well, we're a month out from Iowa, and this is the first time a major candidate, somebody who at least at one point looked like they had a chance to win or be a major player, has dropped out of the race. So it shakes things up. And I don't think his endorsement is going to matter all that much, although it'll be good fanfare for whoever gets it. And I'd agree it's probably Gingrich, given the constituency that Cain has courted and what he probably wants to do going forward. And I kind of see him as a Sarah Palin figure. What I do think, though, is that him coming out of the race, at least for now, helps Gingrich and hurts Romney because there are fewer stalwart conservatives to divide up that vote, and it makes it a little bit tougher on Romney. And so I think that moving forward, Romney is going to have to work harder to get enough conservatives to side with him, whether it's for electability or for his ability to manage an economic recovery, than he might have otherwise.
Okay, Liz, I'm going to go down some polls, the latest poll numbers we have. Des Moines Register poll, this is one that is watched very closely. In Iowa, you see Newt Gingrich at 25%, Ron Paul second there, 18%, and Mitt Romney at 16%. NBC Marist poll, similar result. You see the flip-flop at second and third. Gingrich, though, with 26% in that poll. Then let's take a look at New Hampshire, NBC Marist poll, Mitt Romney at 39%. That is a drop from where he was. Newt Gingrich climbing up to 23%. I do want to go to the fourth poll we had in this list, the Gallup poll, and that is acceptable nominee for president. This is just out. Is it acceptable, this person, for a nominee for president? Gingrich 62%, Romney 54%, and there you see the breakdown. State of the race, Liz.
Well, I've been trying to figure out where Gingrich's surge is coming from to some extent, and particularly in light of what's happened with Cain and the fact that it seems like most Cain supporters are going to Gingrich, why that is, because they do seem like very different candidates in some ways. And I think some of the most interesting poll numbers that I've seen out of that Des Moines Register poll, they asked some specific questions. They asked, which candidate do you think is best able to bring about real change? And Newt Gingrich won that, 27% to Romney at 14%, and then Ron Paul had 18%. And then on the other hand, when they say which candidate is the most experienced, Newt Gingrich absolutely killed that category. He was 58% to Romney's 11%. And so Gingrich is kind of threading this interesting needle where he has the Washington experience on the one hand, and then he does seem to voters like this flame-throwing, mix-it-up kind of guy that Kaine was on the other hand, and it's enabling him to bring together, I think, some different voters in a way that is actually really working for him right now.
Yet, Charles, some were saying that he may be peaking too early. Carl noted that these are the first ads that are going on the air, the first big buys in Iowa, the latest it's been in really decades, a big ad buy. Your thoughts?
Well, if he peaks any later, I think it'd be too late. I think he's peaking exactly at the right time. I'm not sure the Kaine withdrawal made any difference because Kaine's numbers were already so low, the shift had already happened. If you look at the graph of the Gingrich rise and the Kaine the collapse, they crossed a few days ago, so I'm not sure the actual withdrawal is going to make any difference. I think what's really interesting is what's happened in New Hampshire. In Iowa, it's even possible that Ron Paul will win or even be a second. I think he's likely to be a 1 or a 2. I'm not sure that Gingrich will win or even Romney will win. But neither requires it. But in New Hampshire, Romney has to win. The question is, how big does the margin have to be? Right now, the margin is 16, which is a lot less, almost half of what it was a while ago over Gingrich. What's interesting, though, if you break it down, this is an open primary where independents can actually participate. And since on the Democratic side there's no race, you'll expect independents will vote. Among independents, the lead that Romney has over Gingrich is 12, but I'm sorry, among Republicans it's 12. Among independents it's 21. So that's the Romney argument. He can appeal to independents, and essentially he's going to hang his hat on that, and it might carry him through, except the liabilities he's shown in the last couple of weeks, but I think have exposed him in a way he wasn't exposed in the past, are taking him down not rapidly, but inexorably.
David, Speaker Gingrich met today in New York with Donald Trump, a trek that other candidates have made. He openly asked for his endorsement. Trump, of course, is moderating now a debate at the end of December 27th. Ron Paul said of this debate, turning it down, quote, "The selection of a reality television personality to host a presidential debate that voters nationwide will be watching is beneath the office of the presidency and flies in the face of that office's history and dignity." Your thoughts on the reaction to that debate at the end of December right now?
Well, I think that given that we've had so many debates, adding another one in there isn't automatically going to be the most attractive ticket in the world for the people who would need to participate. I also think it's interesting that you have Donald Trump narrating a debate when he hasn't completely ruled out running for president as an independent or as a third party of some sort.
But what he said was he's going to endorse someone after this debate, and if that someone doesn't win the nomination, then he would consider running himself.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that if you're a Republican and theoretically you want some Republican to be President Obama, even if it's not you, that you would participate in something that elevates a figure who decides he might make it harder for Republicans to beat Obama. Because although I don't think he's going to run for president and give up his very lucrative reality television show, I do think that if he did run, somebody like him could split up the Republican vote and make it that much easier for Obama to win a second term. Is
it dangerous, Liz, final word quickly, about this courting of Donald Trump and how it plays in the broader GOP?
I'm going to be a little contrarian here and say that at least for Newt Gingrich, I think it isn't. And Gingrich today said that he echoed Kaine, saying he thought that sometimes America needed to have more of a sense of humor. And I think for Gingrich, he can actually get away with that because he has the experience, he has the intellect, voters know that. So he can go out and have a little fun with Donald Trump and it doesn't hurt him.
Charles?
He's right about a sense of humor. A debate in which the moderator chooses a nominee afterwards, I think, is a reality TV show. It's not a debate, and it is a joke.
Please plan to join us for our next debate. It happens Thursday, December 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern, from Sioux City, Iowa. You'll be able to get instant analysis, participate in a live chat with Fox News contributors at foxnews.com/debate. We are preparing for this right now. Next up, did President Obama lose Egypt?